For more information on the Hardball, stay tuned to this morning's Carolina People. Coming up next. Good morning. Welcome to Carolina People. This morning we're at the leasing office for the Market Common Myrtle Beach on the corner of Phyllis Boulevard and Faro Parkway. We're focused on the 14th annual American Hardball to be held at the Myrtle Beach Convention Center Hotel this Saturday. And we're visiting with one of its tremendous auction donors, the owner of Redline Power Sports, Jonathan Formo. Good morning, Jonathan.
Morning, Greg. Good to see you.
Thanks so much for getting in this morning. The event's getting so close. This is not your first hardball.
No, we've been involved now for about 6 years, I think it has been, and really enjoy it. Really have a great time at the hardball. Feel fortunate that we can donate an item that can generate a lot of money for the Heart Association. So
this has been either the top or the second or the surely in the top three every year. These six, I'm sure it'll be again this year.
Yeah.
Probably the top actual generator of funds straight into the American Heart Association this year.
And it's a really great feeling. I mean, obviously the heart problems are number one in the country,
right.
and needs the research to find the cure. And anytime that there's an opportunity to help and generate funds to go towards that, we're really glad to be able to be a part of it.
Absolutely. I got to confirm it. Charlie Myrick said yesterday morning that folks can come out either today or tomorrow. Tomorrow's the last day they can come to Redline Power Sports and actually bid on the auction item, on the Sea-Doo and the trailer. They can come out there and actually put a bid in. I think the starting bid is maybe $7,500 or so.
Yeah, that's usually where they start them out. It's an $11,000 Sea-Doo.
Wow.
One of the nicer ones that they offer. They're 4-stroke motors in them now, which is like your car.
Right.
You just put gas in it and ride. They're so much more reliable today than the old 2-strokes in the past.
Right.
And yes, they're able to come out, see the ski that we're going to be actually donating at the Hardball, and they can put bids on it then. And then, of course, we'll have it at the Hardball for that
this Saturday night.
Right.
Absolutely, this Saturday night. If a viewer's never been to Redline Power Sports, where exactly are y'all located?
We're right out on Highway 501.
Okay.
About 2 miles past the waterway, going towards Conway, right next door to Nissan, and across the caddy corner across the street from the Tanger Outlets.
Okay, real easy to find for
Very
folks
easy.
who've never been out there. Absolutely. And of course, whether they're coming in from the PD, the opportunity to be able to bid on something like that, it's a great, or here on the Strand, to get out there and to know that every dollar is going straight into fighting heart disease and stroke.
Right. That's right. It's a great thing they can do. People, especially for people that have never owned a jet ski or had the opportunity to ride one. Every year that we give out these vehicles, the customers come back and they're like, man, I had no idea these things were so fun.
Yeah.
They're not only donating for a great cause, but they're getting a play toy that's one of the most fun things to do.
Absolutely. And folks, really, you get folks from all over the area that come in, and you're hearing them say that, whether they're buying at the Hardball or at the March of Dimes Chef's Auction. I know you've been donating this to lots of events in the area or something similar to really raise funds and to make a difference here in the community. But you get folks who come back in and say, I had no idea what this was like.
Absolutely. There's riding a jet ski especially is very, very simple. And if you can stand on 2 feet, you can ride it easily. And it makes older people feel like a kid again. It really can bring out the kid in you who wants to go out there and have fun. And also, we have a lot of women riders because...
Is that right?
It's very, boat is larger, and we deal with boats also, but the larger, 15, 18, 20, 23-foot boats are a little bit more to back in. Right. And a lot of women are attracted to the jet skis because they're light. You can pull them with almost any kind of a vehicle, and they're very easy to back into water to unload. And so it's a very easy vehicle to operate.
Right. Jonathan, give us a little sense of Redline Power Sports. How long have you all been around? And have you always been right there at that location on Highway 501?
Fortunately, we're in our 21st year now at Redline. I opened it in 1987. We started out downtown Myrtle Beach in a tiny little building. We're there from 87 through about 90, I guess, 91, and we moved out on 501 and purchased the old Honda of Myrtle Beach motorcycle building.
Right.
In '91, and then we picked up Honda, and then a few years later we moved a half mile down the road and picked up Yamaha and Kawasaki. And then as we were growing, when Highway 31 came through, our facility was in the way of the road, so we ended up working a deal out with the state and moved another half mile down the road to where we are today. And just this past year, we were fortunate enough to be able to buy out the Suzuki KTM dealership.
Great.
So now we have all of the brands under one roof on our 501 store. So virtually in the power sports business, we've got every model out there. And
That's
so
tremendous.
a lot of people, we've had people come in that we're going to go to another city or town and maybe want to compare a Honda against a Yamaha, for example.
Right.
Gentleman from Hemingway recently was going to buy a four-wheeler, and his dad told him, well, why don't you go to Redline? They've got all of them on the same showroom that you can compare them side by side. In Florence, he would have to go on one side of town to the Honda store,
Right.
go to the other side of town to the Yamaha store, and so
Right.
forth. So it's a big benefit for the customer.
Oh, yeah.
They can see all the competitive models side by side, and then they can pick and choose which one they like.
How large is the showroom there on Highway 501, John?
Our facility is 44,000 square feet, and of that, about 25,000 square feet is the showroom area.
Is that right? Yeah. And now, if they actually, when you say they come in and check it out, can they can't really ride it. They can just
different vehicles. For example, we sell motorcycles and four-wheelers and jet skis and jet boats.
Right.
And we do demo rides, and it depends on the vehicle. Depends on the individual. Obviously, if it's a motorcycle, if they've got a valid motorcycle driver's license, and depending on the motorcycle, we'll allow test rides on motorcycles,
right,
as well as four-wheelers. And then when it comes to boats and skis, we will actually take them to the river and do a demo ride.
Is that right?
If need be, if they've never tried one.
Right.
We also have involvement with most all the rental companies in the Myrtle Beach and North Myrtle Beach area.
Sure.
And a lot of times, if they just want to ride a jet ski, we'll just send them over to a rental company and let them take a 10, 15-minute ride.
Right.
And we'll comp that to them so that they can just get a feel for it. And that way they can determine whether this is something that they want to invest in or not. That's
tremendous. You mentioned North Myrtle Beach. Y'all now have a presence in North Myrtle Beach, or even a bigger presence.
What happened is just recently there was a store there called Atlantic Motorsports,
right,
and it had changed ownership about 4 times over the past 5-6 years. And so when it did the last time, I called the owner and asked him that if he ever decided if he wanted to sell it, would please give me an opportunity to buy it from him. And so he called me in February of 2007. We put all the package together and got everything worked out. So by actually July 2nd of 2007 is when we closed the deal.
That's tremendous.
And so we moved up to North Myrtle Beach also. It's now called Redline Power Sports North. And so with the 2 locations, it's been a big benefit because now we can share the inventory between the 2 stores.
Great.
For example, if a guy's in the North store and wants a blue whatever and we don't have it there, but we have it at the Central store, we can just zip it right up there for him. And we've already do a lot of that now. We sell all the brands in the Central store, and we've got Yamaha, Kawasaki, and Suzuki in the North store.
Right.
And we're adding right now the Sea-Doo and Can-Am lines of product into that North store.
So you'll have all 7 lines there at the Central store, and almost as many.
4 or 5 lines in the North store.
4 or 5 at the North store. That is tremendous. If a viewer needs to get off to work now or get family off to school, Jonathan, is there the same phone number for the Central location as the North location, or is it 2 separate numbers now?
It is 2 separate numbers.
Okay.
The Central store is 236-0758. And the North store is 280-3030.
3030. Not to put you on the spot, but I'm sure if anyone knows the phone numbers, it'd be you. 280-3030.
Right.
Or if they wanted to visit the 501 store and come by even to bid on the Sea-Doo and the trailer, if they need to get out there today or tomorrow, or just wait till this Saturday's event. But it's 236-0758.
That's correct.
Do you all have a website, Jonathan?
Yes, it's www.redlinepowersports.net.
Oh, wait, great. Redlinepowersports.net. That's tremendous. Well, that is, when folks hear power sports, Does that just mean essentially all of what you've been talking about, or is it a little broader?
It's kind of funny how that word evolved. Over the years, I've been involved in this industry now some 37 years. And
wow. Oh, come on. Out of diapers. Yeah.
We were in the motorcycle business.
Right.
And then as the motorcycles grew, way back when, Honda invented a little three-wheeler. And then the three-wheeler turned into a four-wheeler. Then the next thing you know, Kawasaki and Sea-Doo come out with a jet ski, and they just evolved from there. And so what happened was we were more than just motorcycles. We've got all the brands, as far as not brands, but dirt bikes, street bikes, cruisers, rocket type bikes, sport bikes.
Rocket type bikes. Listen up.
And so. And then with the four-wheelers, there's all different models of those with utility-type four-wheelers,
right,
and racing four-wheelers, and small ones for children and larger ones for people that want to enjoy them, or businesses that out here in the market commons where they're building so much. There's a lot of our vehicles out here running around that have dump bodies on them and so forth. So a lot of good utility use vehicles. So as the motorcycle became part of this whole power sports industry, the word started evolving power sports, and at first we got a lot of phone calls for baseball bats and jerseys and things that were related to like football and basketball and baseball, but the word power now is introduced, and this has got an engine on it.
Right.
Virtually everything we sell as far as our vehicles are all powered by gasoline engines. So that's where the word power sports comes from.
Well, so oftentimes someone will get involved in a business, may not have the experience of having ridden or been involved. For instance, if it's a car dealership, they may not be involved or having worked in a car dealership before. For you, the experience of having been a competitive racer yourself, knowing motorcycles, knowing, I'm sure, all the 4- and 3-wheeled vehicles, for you when they come in and when you're out on the showroom and talking to folks or any of your folks, I mean, you really have that experience yourself.
It's almost like Christmas every day. I absolutely love what I do. I'm in this business because it's my passion.
Right.
I feel very fortunate and blessed that I've been able to build a business out of my passion.
Right.
But it's an exciting business. People today are going to recreate no matter what. It's a good stress reliever. You can go out and you can ride your four-wheeler through some trails. You can ride your jet ski down the waterway, or ride your motorcycle to dinner one evening or whatever. It's a very good stress reliever. And so even in tougher times, people are going to recreate. So it's a lot of fun. The industry is expanding. Our products are getting much more user-friendly and also very compliant. The power sports industry has won award after an award for being the first to step up and have clean products.
Is that right? Great. Green products.
Green products.
Good.
Yes. The main reason we went from 2-stroke engines to 4-stroke engine was green products. A 4-stroke is a much cleaner operating engine than a 2-stroke engine is. And so the manufacturers have done excellent in producing not only engines that are cleaner, but exhaust systems also. The quiet, a new 08 model jet ski, for example, compared to say a 98 model jet ski, there's about 70% difference in the sound decibels.
Is that right? Yeah, going up and down the waterway or out in the ocean. Otherwise,
much quieter today. If you see a jet ski and it's loud, it's an old one. The new ones today are like cars; they're just quiet.
You mentioned 44,000 for the entire facility, 44,000 square feet, and only about 25,000 showroom, which means you must have a pretty dang big service department. We want to talk a little bit about that and what they'd see if someone was going out in kind of the back of the house. But what about your family? Do you have family involved in the business, John?
I do. I have 3 sons. My oldest son is working with us in the store.
Right.
A few years ago doing these interviews, he was out in California.
I remember, early on when we were at the Marriott for the Hardball. That's right.
He came back a couple of years ago, and he's working with us now in the store. My second son has gone back to college, got his Master's of Accounting, and he is becoming a CPA now. He's just his final test away from his CPA license, and so eventually I hope he can help me on the business side.
Oh yeah, as y'all continue to expand,
we continue to grow the business. And then my third son is 12, and so we're not sure what he's going to do yet.
Not yet. And your wife is clearly involved, and
yes, wife is taking very good care of our 12-year-old and bringing him along and helping keep me mentally sane when the times get tough to keep the business going.
And a tremendous crew. We've seen Tim year after year at the Heartball as well, really making a difference.
Yeah, Tim's been with me now for 16 years,
wow.
And a lot of Redline's success is due directly to Tim. And we've got an excellent partnership and teamwork, and we work very well together, and we're going to continue to grow the business and move forward. You know, if you just take care of people, the customers will come. Then that's our number one goal. Our number one rule is take care of the customer, period.
Folks have shown up at Redline one day and no one's there, and I think it drives home that point. I don't know what day it is, or maybe 2 days of the week. There's days you all take a day of take off a little time as well. What are the days of operation there at, let's say, your central store out on 501?
We're open Tuesday through Saturday.
Okay.
So Sunday and Monday is our weekend.
Right.
And we're trying to, obviously, we go out and enjoy our toys.
Right.
During the busy time, though, we generally go to 6 days.
Sure.
And then, of course, in May, we have 2 tremendous bike weeks that come.
Yeah.
And actually, last year, for the first time, we actually opened 7 days for a little bit.
Is that right?
But there's so much work going on with 500,000 people between the 2 bike weeks. It's between 500,000 and 600,000 people.
So your service departments are slammed. I mean, y'all are, and sales as well, or just principally service? Yeah.
Well, you know, we do increase the sales, but not drastically. It's primarily service and parts and accessories.
Yeah.
Clothing, because of the size of our store and all the products that we carry.
Yeah.
We put in additional probably couple $100,000 of extra inventory clothing-wise, just for the bike weeks, because there's 500,000 people here.
Sure, sure.
Give them opportunities to buy things they might not be able to get back at home at their local dealer.
And your Redline Power Sports North location will have them coming in for the Atlantic Beach Fest, even closer, the folks who aren't coming in on 501.
Correct.
Who are coming in on 17 to stop them there.
We're excited about that because the North store has never really been involved a lot in the Atlantic Beach Bike Fest.
No.
And it's crazy. They're right there.
Right there.
We'll be definitely getting involved with that. We already have our promoters getting vendors prepared. We've been working for 2 months already on Bike Week 08.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
Because it's become such a big deal for us.
That is tremendous, Jonathan. But the service department, I mean, when you've got a service department that large, they must be busy a whole lot.
Absolutely. The service is a very big challenge because of the tourists and the bike weeks. I mean, you know, when you have an influx of 200,000, 300,000, 400,000 people on motorcycles, you're going to have a big strain on the service department, but we deal with it. We prepare for it. We try to tell our local customers, you know, during the 2 bike weeks, you know, let's get your vehicle in before or after, because during those 2, there's just so many people here. It's you know, it's almost impossible to keep up with everybody. But yeah, service is a big part of the business. In that 44, we do have an 8,000 square foot warehouse that we keep customer vehicles in out of the weather and that type of thing. So that when they're being repaired, you know, they can be safer and less weather-related damage. So.
Do you have a favorite power sport? Do you have a favorite vehicle yourself, Jonathan? Not to put you on the spot, because I'm sure you love them all. But
it's kind of funny because people ask me that a lot.
Yeah.
And, you know, I do have a favorite in watercraft and boat and motorcycles and four-wheelers. I mean, it's funny because each manufacturer has great products, and some of their products are the best in the business.
Right. This is not the question to ask on TV, Greg. Leave that alone, dude. Not here. I've got.
But I will say this, you know, if the Sea-Doo that we give away, I am a Sea-Doo nut.
Right.
We have all the brands. There's only 4 brands of jet skis made. And that's Honda, Yamaha, Kawasaki, and Sea-Doo, and we sell all of them. So being able to ride them all. They're all great machines. I just personally like the way the Sea-Doo handles and the way it runs.
And I wasn't thinking as much about brands, but for yourself, who grew up competitively, you know, racing, and those were 2-wheel motorcycles, I guess, in dirt or otherwise. I mean, you've always been out that way. Of course, I'm sure you move a lot of 4-wheelers. No longer 3-wheelers, though, right? No longer.
Back in the 80s, the 3-wheels would topple over real easy, and so the government banned them. And then what the manufacturers did was put 2 front wheels and just basically turned a 3-wheeler into a 4-wheeler.
Right.
As far as the favorite sport, back in my younger days, I was a professional motocross racer.
Yeah.
And Loved it. It was 48 weekends a year, 10 years in a row.
No, Jonathan.
We were obsessed with it.
That's nuts.
Of course, as we get a little older, the motocross is a pretty physically demanding sport.
I bet.
So basically, the jet ski kind of is like riding a motorcycle on water.
Right.
And that water is not nearly as hard as that dirt.
On your back and on your joints,
I'm fortunate to live on the waterway, and so my passion is turned to the boats and the water sports more so than the motorcycles these days.
Right.
But I still love getting out and riding my street bike. Don't ride the dirt bikes too much anymore, but it's just because of time.
Either of your boys, did either of them compete or follow in your footsteps on competing motocross or otherwise?
In the younger days, they did a little bit, but each one of them, I was very adamant not to force it on them.
Yeah.
Because it's like any sport that becomes a profession. You have to eat, drink it, sleep it. You live it 24/7. And again, my oldest one was a guitar nut.
Right.
He loved playing guitar more than anything. And my second one rode and rode a lot, but he was more into the business side of the world and really is going to build a good future there. And Jordan, my third son, he's taken after his oldest brother, and he's a good guitar player.
Is that right?
He's really into the guitar and the music. Now he's a nut on the skis. He loves to ski and wakeboard and ride tubes and stuff like that. So we're really active in the water sports.
Safety's a big deal for Redline Power Sports. Y'all are constantly promoting safety. If you're gonna make the effort to spend this kind of money to get a recreational vehicle like this, you got to be focused on safety. Y'all do some classes as well, John.
Absolutely. We have one of our long-term employees is a Motorcycle Safety Foundation instructor, which is a national thing, and he's always doing the safety instruction. This is the course that you take to learn how to ride a motorcycle. Right. You also can get your driver's license, your motorcycle driver's license, by taking this course, as well as on the ATVs. There's safety instruction on those. We try and show people the proper way to maneuver these vehicles. Obviously, we encourage the use of helmets and the safety equipment, as well as the watercraft. We do have safety instructions on watercraft too, because the jet skis have a uniqueness in them that they're driven and steered by a jet of water. So that's a little bit unique in that if you let off the throttle, you don't have any steering control. So, but we've over the years have been able to teach our customers, the importance of learning. It's just a matter of getting out there and putting a few hours in the saddle and getting the feel of it. It becomes second nature. So, but all of our products have a certain inherent risk, but with the proper clothing, proper protection, and training is the biggest thing. Most of the time when we do see an accident, almost 90% of the time, the owner is not on the vehicle.
Oh boy.
And what happens is you've got a jet ski, you let a friend ride it, and they don't really know what they're doing, and then they wreck. So we try to really make a point to owners. If you do let anybody ride your vehicle, please make sure that you've gone over the safety features and the do's and the don'ts. That way you can prevent a lot of these accidents.
Jonathan, if a viewer can't get out there today or tomorrow to bid on the Sea-Doo, or if they're interested in a four-wheeler or a motorcycle or otherwise, are there any are there any good opportunities for them? We just got a minute. I mean, is this something that they should be thinking about now? Is it a good time?
Actually, with the purchase of the two stores, the Myrtle Beach store and then the North Myrtle Beach store, we did inherit a lot of brand new inventory that was not what we call non-current, an 07 product, an 06 product. I think we're out of all the 05 stuff now, but we do have brand new 07 and 06 product that are at excellent deals. I mean, in some cases, we just did a big promotion. We had 10 of this one particular model, and we made a deal with the manufacturer to where we cut the price in half.
Wow.
That's just unheard of, So there are deals out there right now that are more than unusual simply because of the excess inventory that we inherited when we bought these two stores. And then also in the winter months, it's always the best time because they're not selling very well, so the best deals are going to be right now.
Getting ready for the spring and summer, absolutely. And folks are out and about all the time in the spring. I mean, they are really, folks have no idea probably how many four-wheelers are out there, how many jet skis are out there. And of course, folks have to come in this area, in Horry, Georgetown County. They're coming through Redline Power Sports if they want to buy one.
Right, and we want to make sure that we don't take advantage of that fact. That's why we focus on making sure we take care of the customer and make sure their product is operating properly. Because the manufacturers have had in the past some dealers that just didn't quite step up to the plate.
Right.
And so it's worse for the customer when you've got a dealer that might have deep pockets but not good management or not involvement.
Right.
Virtually, I'd say 85% of our employees in both stores are active riders of the products that we sell.
Great.
So we're heavily involved in the industry, and that way we know the ins and the outs of what you should do, what you shouldn't do, and how to maintain your product properly and be able to enjoy it.
Those are great words, Jonathan. Thanks so much for being with us this morning. Sorry we're running out of time.
All right, thanks for having me.
Definitely. Stay tuned to more Carolina People with Jonathan Formo, the owner of Redline Power Sports, one of the tremendous donors for this Saturday's 14th Annual American Art Ball. Coming up next. Our loyal viewers who tuning in every morning or tuning in every other week who know that this is not a commercial show. We're normally not promoting phone numbers for businesses, but rarely do we have a guest who's sitting here who's donated $10,000 plus or minus to the American Heart Association. It's a day like today. We're celebrating Jonathan Formo, his family, all the folks at Redline Power Sports who are making a difference to fight heart disease and stroke. RedlinePowersports.net, or their location, the central location out on the Highway 501, 843-236-0758. You can head out there today, bid up this auction item, the Sea-Doo, for this Saturday's Heart Ball at the Convention Center Hotel. Even if you can't go out there, come out and check out their tremendous location, or go up to the location in North Myrtle Beach. If you're up in that area, 843-280-3030. Pick up the phone, give them a call. They're making a difference, not only for the American Heart Association, lots of other tremendous charities in the area benefit from families like the Formo family and the McGraws and others in the area that are making a difference every day. Take the time, learn more about the American Heart Association and about Redline Power Sports. Jonathan Formo.